What's up everyone, Kwame here. So today, as you saw by the title of this video, I'm going to talk to you about why these two lenses, the 17 to 28 and the 28 to 200, are really the only two lenses that you need for a Sony full frame camera or even your APS-C camera. Now, obviously there are more lenses you can get. I'm using the 24, the Samyang 24. I have the Samyang 35. I have a 90mm. So it's not the only two lenses, but if you're traveling like we recently did, these are probably the two best lenses you can get, and especially, bang for your buck, or price value, whatever you want to say. These two lenses are amazing. So let's start with the 17 to 28. Now this lens here is, you can see here, this is what it looks like on my Sony a7 II. If it will focus, there we go. It's not a small lens, but it's also not that big. Like, this can easily be carried around with you daily, like as a everyday carry type of lens. This lens is great for getting like wide angle pictures of vistas or inside buildings. Or if you're doing like a group shot, you want to hold the camera out like this in front of you and take a picture of like a group of people or yourself. That's a great lens for that. And I will be honest, I haven't used this lens a ton. I use it a little bit, and we're going to go into Lightroom so you can see the pictures I use it with. But when I do use it, it is utterly amazing, and it's so sharp. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a shoot a brick wall and let's measure sharpness, but just everyday use, it's a really sharp lens. And recently we went to Disneyland. I'm going to make a whole separate video on that, but when we were there, I used this lens to get like interior pictures or get wide angle pictures of inside the rides, or if we're taking pictures of ourselves and things like that. It was really nice to have. But I also took it with me when we went on a RV trip last year, and it was perfect for landscapes. Like if you're looking to get like landscapes and you want like really big vistas, this is a lens that you can get. It goes from 17 to 28. I think 17 is really wide, and it's probably more than enough width for a lot of us. And 28 is, my favorite, like kind of just starting lens focal length. But overall, it is a great lens. And again, it wouldn't be it's not my everyday carry lens on this camera. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but it is a great one. I just need a little bit more width, and I just need to, I don't have the ability to take a step back or anything like that, or I don't want to shoot a panoramic. That's another little trick you can do. I love taking this lens out and getting like a nice wide angle view of things. Now, the 28 to 200. This lens is a lens, I've done plenty of videos about this, but this lens has been my go-to lens for the last 2 years, especially for traveling, because it is so versatile. 28 on the wide lens angle, 28 on the wide part, 200 on the at the telephoto, into the telephoto. You get what I'm trying to say. You have so much versatility within one lens. And yes, it's not like f2.8 throughout. There's this one here, is the 17 to 28 is f2.8 throughout. The 28 to 200 is f2.8 at 28, and then it falls off pretty quick. But even at like a focal length of like 100, even 200, you can still get good background separation depending on how you place your subject. Now, for me, this lens is my lens that this lens has been the lens that has lived on my Sony a7 II. Now, but I have been using the 90mm more. But, when we went to Disneyland, this is the lens I brought. And this is the lens that I use 90% of the time, because it was just perfect. If I wanted to do a wide angle shot, I could do that. If I wanted to get in close, that was nice. And having that versatility within one lens is super great. Now, both of these lenses have in-body image stabilization, which is really good. And they both use the same 67 and both of these cameras have built-in Both of these lenses have built-in image stabilization, so if you pair it with the A6100, A7 II, or A60, any of the Sony full-frame cameras and the A6600 or 6500, it will work with the camera in-body image stabilization and the lens stabilization, so they will work together. They both have the same filter size, so if I wanted to use an ND filter on these, I could switch back and forth. I didn't, because when you're in Disneyland, it was when you're traveling, it's if I'm using this like outdoors and like we're hiking or something, maybe I'll use an ND filter. But if we're just traveling, I'm not worried about an ND filter. And I'm not shooting video. If you're shooting more video with these lenses, the 17-28 is like the perfect lens for shooting video. You can easily do walking, talking head videos. You can punch in and get a little bit better. Now, obviously, there is the Sony 16-35, which is f2.8, or they have an f4 version. That is way more money. And you could also get, if you want f2.8 from like 17 up to close to 200, you could get the Tamron 17-28, the 28-75, and then the 70-180, and those are all f2.8. However, the problem with that is you're spending a lot more money and you're carrying around 3 lenses, whereas with this situation I have 2 lenses that I'm carrying around. And it's not f2.8 all the way through, but they look really good. So let's dive into Lightroom here and take a look. All right, so this is Lightroom, and now we're gonna look at the. All right, so we're in Lightroom, and we're looking at the 17-28. So these are pictures I've taken. Some of these are from last year, and then I'll show you some from Disneyland. But you can see here, if you're just taking everyday pictures of food, of our late fish, it was really nice. And both of these lenses, I forgot to mention, you can do some close-up photography, so you can get pretty close with both of these lenses. Now, the 17-28 isn't ideal for portraits, but if the dog here, it was actually a pretty cool angle to try to get down here and like get on his level and shoot up, and it made him look grander and that kind of stuff. Now there is obviously barrel distortion at, let's see, we're at f8 at 20 millimeters, so a little bit of barrel distortion, but you can always fix that in post. Again, taking pictures of yourself. Here I am looking stupid, trying to do some walking, talking stuff. But again, I didn't even have to worry about this at 17 millimeters here. I knew that I was going to be in focus, and I didn't have to worry about what I was doing, how I was framing it. Again, dogs, it's nice because you can if you put your subject in the middle here like this, you're not going to have too much distortion of the person or the dog, but you still get so much more. Like you can see here, we were camping at this pretty nice campground I forgot where this was at, but it was a nice little campground. Again, inside the RV, I wanted to take a picture of the beagle as we were driving down the road. He loved looking out the window, so there you go, take a picture, and you can still see the beagle, you can see my son back here, you can see the other dog laying down here, and then you could see we were in the RV. Really nice. Not gonna go through all of them. Let's see, let's take a look at some landscape pictures. This is a nice vista, and again, straight out of the camera, not straight, I edited it, but this is 17 millimeters out of the camera. It's so nice. You're getting so much of the area. I did fix it in post using Lightroom's lens profile, so it took out the barrel distortion in the middle here. Really nice. Again, this is where this lens shines. This little puddle here was like maybe a foot away from me, but I was able to get the puddle in frame, get all this in frame, and also show like this whole vista back here with a little bit of the sky. Actually pretty cool, and it's again just having fun playing with different angles and compositions is nice. Once again, more rock formations, but it's nice just to be able to step back and get the everything that you want in frame and not have to worry about it having to take shooting a panoramic or anything like that. And then one last one here, another vista, this is a little canyon, but it was I mean, it was so deep, and then you could see how far apart it was, and then there's like a road down here, so you get a sense of scale of like, this is a full-size road where a car drives down, and this is everything else. So having a lens like this, I'm able to give my pictures like scale and show how big some of these images or some of these places are. And then in Disneyland, it was actually pretty nice because if we were inside this one of the stores, take a picture of my wife and son, you can see, take a picture of them, get all the surroundings. And then as we're walking downtown Disney, I believe, or this is right when we got into Disneyland, or the park entrance, right? Palm trees, see all the people walking around. Again, just a good sense of that California vibe going on. Wife and son again. Now this is pretty cool. We're walking in line, going to the Guardian Galaxy, terrifying ride. And as we were walking, I don't even think I stopped. We were just going in line, quickly grabbed the picture, framed it up, boom, it looks good. And again, all this is in play, and this is even cropped down some, so if you want to see the full picture, it was even more. And then inside, again, this is Guardian Galaxy. I could have gotten this with like a 2-image panoramic, but as you're just walking through and you don't really have time to like set up a panoramic, all this kind of stuff, you just quickly take a picture and everything's in frame, and it looks pretty good. This is at f2.8, 1/13 of a second at 28mm. So this wasn't even at the widest angle. This is at the most telephoto part. And then last one, I'll show you a portrait. So this is actually pretty cool because you could see the portrait here of a picture here of my son, and I believe this is Chip. And it was nice because I could take their picture here. If I wanted to crop in, I can. Let's say I wanted to crop in and really make this more of a portrait, I could do like this, boom. Having that extra real estate was nice. But then just looking at it here, this is an f8. I kind of messed this up. I should have had it a little bit lower, but f8. Quickly took this picture while the character was walking around, and it looks pretty good. Now let's look at the 28-200. Now this is the one I've used a lot more, and you can see there's like way more pictures here. But even with the 28-200 at 28mm, you can still get a good self-portrait. It's not ideal, it's pretty tight, and if you are trying to like walk and do video, it's a little hard to do that with such a tight lens. But you can take a self-portrait. I don't think you could get a second person here, but it's I got a picture myself, and as photographers, we are on we usually are the ones taking the pictures and not really the ones in front of the camera. So it's nice to turn the camera around and take a picture of yourself. But we'll go over some of these pictures here. I will have more of these pictures on my website. I'll have a link down below. But you can see here, getting in nice and close. When we were back in Colorado Wildlife Refuge, I can get close to the deer without getting too close and not bothering them, which was always nice. And this is a picture of looks like I think we're pretty sure this was an eagle, but look at it, like its wing was all messed up. But this was at 200mm. We saw this thing flying around, took a few pictures, and yeah, is it the sharpest picture in the world? No. Is it the cleanest file in the world? No, but it looks pretty good, and I'm really happy with this image. Let's look at some of these. Oop, my light just died. All right, let's look at some other ones. Talk about close focus here. This is I was just going through some stuff, and we found this old iPod Nano, and so took a picture of it, and you can see it's almost like a product image picture that you could take here. Same with this Motorola Motorola X, I think. I can't remember. This was one of my favorite phones. It had so many features, cool features. Little Android phone here, so I took a picture of that a few years ago. Let's look at some portraits. Late, all these animals are late, but our lab here, you can see these two are the greatest models for taking pictures. But anyways, they really cool image here. Again, this one focused on her nose, and I didn't focus on her eyes, but even still, it's a great picture. Like you can see here, you can get really good images at 70 millimeters. So I wasn't close to her, but it was still nice to, indoor shot. Let's look at some of the wide angle pictures. Again, 39 millimeters, almost 40 millimeters, like the Ricoh GR3X. You can see here, it was great to get a picture of my wife taking a picture of these, I forgot, these painted rocks. I forgot what they're called. They're in Colorado, really cool area. And my son trying to look at the how close they were. It's from the sulfur, I believe, in the area. Don't hold me to it, but that's really cool area. If I can remember the name of this place, I'll have put a link. And if you are in Colorado, you should check it out. And then let's look at the really like the selling feature here, right? So wide angle picture. You have these caribou down here, not caribou, moose down here, and no, these are caribou. I believe they're caribou. Yes, these are caribou down here, and you can see like it was a really great scene of how caribou down here, mountains upon mountains, and like you had the blue sky. It was like a perfect type of day. And then punch in a little bit, and now you get a portrait shot of this caribou side view again at at 13. So there's not a ton of background separation, but if I would have stopped this down to like f8, then you would have a little bit more background separation. But I wanted to get the caribou in its, I think this is a moose actually, this moose in its full element. Listen, I can't remember what animal this is. It's really early in the morning I'm shooting this, so I apologize if it's not the right creature. Let's look at some other shots here. Again, wide angle shot here of this little hike we went on when we first moved here to Seattle, and then punching in, I can get a really nice detail shot of this area here. So this is the area that I took of this one, and then this was the punched in area. Now this is a panoramic, so it's two shots that I actually shot here, but you can see here, you can really zoom in and get a really nice picture. And then lastly, for this one, let's just look at some indoor close photography. 59 millimeters. The beagle here was looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? Interrupting my sleep. But yeah, you can see at ISO 5000, so this is not a low ISO. It looks pretty good. Now there's noise and everything, yes, and it's at f4, so it's not, f2.8 or anything like that, but it looks pretty good. And for me, both of my pets, or all three of these pets, have passed on, so any pictures I have, even if they're not the greatest and the most technical, sharp, and cleanest files, they bring back memories, and I cherish all of these pictures so much. And then let's look at some close focusing. Once again, close focusing, I did crop in a little bit, but again, this is at 28 millimeters. You can get really close to your subject. And so with this flower, with the water from when it just got done raining, great image. And then when we're in Disneyland, obviously you got to take pictures of the characters. So this is Iron Man up on the Avengers Tower, and then there's Black Widow. She was up there too. But then also you had these street performers, and this was really cool because I couldn't actually get too close to them, and there were people behind me, right, taking pictures, and in front of me taking pictures. So this was nice to be able to stand in, I did move around, but to be able to be far enough away and still be able to zoom in, get some pictures, zoom out, get some better pictures or more pictures. And having that versatility of the 28 to 200 is really, really nice. And this is another one, again, focusing on him. And you can see even at f5.6, this woman up here is out of focus, and he's in focus, and he was looking right at me as I took the picture, so that was even better. And it was just a really nice way. And for someone like me who doesn't, I like street photography, but I don't like interacting with people on the street, this is a great way to be able to take street photography pictures without having to be too close to people. And then we'll just show you some low light pictures. Again, at this one's at 78 millimeters. The Ferris wheel was lit up because you're gonna have this light show with the water, and this is ISO 1000 f 4.0 at 59 millimeters. Looks really good. And is this gonna be like win me any awards? No, this is for my personal use, and I'm thinking like, oh, remember that really cool water light show that we saw? now I have a picture to show it here. All right, so that has been my all right, so again, this is my personal opinion on the 17 to 28 and the 28 to 200 and why I think they are the most practical and versatile lenses you can get for a full frame or even APS-C Sony camera. They are I've been using this 28 to 200 for almost 2 years. I absolutely love it. Tamron has really killed it with their lenses, being able to focus close, being able to use the same filter sizes. They're water and dust resistant, and I wouldn't say waterproof, but they're water and dust resistant. I've used this one in a rainstorm and it's been perfectly fine. I really do value their lenses. And again, I should have said this in the beginning, Tamron or Sony is not, they don't know I exist. So there is no, this is just, I bought both these lenses and I like both these lenses. And I think if you're someone who watches this channel and you have a Sony camera, full frame camera, and you're not like a professional photographer or videographer, even though if you are professional, Tamron still makes really good pro lenses. But if you're someone like me who likes taking pictures of their family, you're going on trips, everyday type of pictures, and you're using your Sony a lot, I highly recommend getting this combination, or at least getting the 28 to 200 to start and then picking up the 17 to 28 later. Especially if you're into landscapes, the 17 to 28 is key. Or if you're into shooting video and doing vlog type videos, this is a really good lens also to have. I will have links down below, so if you want to check these out, they are affiliate links. You guys know the deal. They're affiliate links. They help me out. If you buy them off of there, it doesn't change the price of you, but it really does help me as a small time YouTube creator with my budget. Also, if you want to see more of these pictures and more examples, I will leave a link to my website where you can see all these pictures in their full resolution glory. Thank you as always for watching this video. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Also, on a side note, I'm thinking about doing like live videos in December, like on Friday. So if you want to see that, this Friday, I forgot the date, but this Friday from when this comes out, I will have a live video, probably starting around 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to see that, if you want to be a part of that, ask me any questions about these lenses or some other questions that you may have about Sony, Ricoh, or Fuji cameras, let me know. Also, I did say I was going to have a review on my Fuji XF10. However, I really haven't used this camera a ton, and I really wanted to, make a good video for you guys. So I'm going to use this for the next like 2-3 weeks and then report back to you on what I think about it. I will say though, I really do like this camera, and I have a lot of opinions that Fuji should listen to make an updated version of this one. So please stay tuned for that. As always, thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Go out, take some pictures, and pet a dog. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.